It might not look like it right now, but I'm often quite busy, and sometimes I forget to do the vacuum and mop as frequently as I should. Thankfully, there's now a product that can actually solve my problems, and that is the Roborock QV 35S. A self-cleaning robot vacuum thanks to this dock, which has also got a mopping functionality. A game changer for myself, which has got both hard floors and also carpets. Now, for those people who are not aware, Roborock was established in 2014, and it also has got a whole bunch of different products under its portfolio, which will suit all your needs and indeed budget. Speaking of which, the QV35S, which is on video, is actually currently on sale. It can be found right now in the UK for just £300, which is down from £500 its retail price. In fact, there's also a 5% discount code that you can utilize by using the code that can be found down in the description below or in the pinned comments. Now, in this video, which has been sponsored by the manufacturer, I'll be covering everything you know about this robot vacuum so you can make your own informed purchasing decision. So to kick things off, I would just like to point out that it's available in two different color finishes, the white and the pictured black. Now, in terms of the dimensions, they'll be on your screen right now. What's particularly important, however, is that the dock will fit in your setup. So make sure you actually measure it up and ensure that it can fit in a space and also along a wall. As for the robot vacuum cleaner itself, it's got a height of 96.5 millimeters, and it's also got a thinner area which allows it to fit under certain areas. Here you'll be able to see it's actually working around my TV cabinet. It's actually pretty handy in terms of actually trying to clean certain areas. Of course, if you've got slightly higher furniture, then it'll be able to fit under them as well, and therefore is not as chunky. Now, this is all very important because the actual dustbin capacity of the robot vacuum cleaner itself sits at 330 milliliters, while the water tank sits at 80 milliliters. As for the dock, however, you've got a 2.7 litre dust bag capacity, a 4 litre clean water capacity, and a 3.5 litre dirty water capacity. Now, this does actually perfectly bring me onto the multifunctional dock, which is actually very much fundamental in terms of the operation of this robot vacuum cleaner, and one of its key selling points. First off, you should be aware that it's powered, so therefore you'll have to make sure that you've got a power outlet relatively nearby. Of course, you can use an extender lead if you so wish, and you've also got a pretty nice sort of cable tidy area that can be found at the rear of it, therefore reducing the overall cable length that is actually on show. Now, the dock itself has got a few different functions. First off, you've got the mop self-washing functionality, which gives you a 3-stage dynamic cleaning process to clean the 2 mops that are found underneath the robot vacuum cleaner. It gives you a pre-wash, a medium rinse, and then a high-speed drying cycle. So yes, it has also got air drying that is capable. Furthermore, over here, you've also got an auto dust emptying, which effectively tries to give you 7 weeks without having to manually empty the bins. This is a combination of the bin that is found within the robot vacuum cleaner, which is then sucked up into a bigger bin that is found within the dock. Again, a very nice handy inclusion because it means that you have to constantly empty out the robot vacuum cleaner, and equally you're not going to get any sort of droplets as it is going to be cleaning around, something that I found in some competitor products quite a few years ago. There's also the ability of automatically refilling its tank. This is because you have got that freshwater tank, which will also fill up the robot vacuum cleaner and therefore ensure that it has got some liquid in it when it comes to its mopping functionality. It will effectively give you 330 square meters of cleaning capacity before you actually have to fill it up again. But again, this is done automatically, so you don't have to worry about it. Elsewhere, you've also got a detachable dock base, which will get a little bit dirty over time because it's where the mops are actually being cleaned, but it's actually very easy to slide out, and therefore giving it a quick rinse is very handy to say the least. So while the dock is very impressive, what is actually going to be cleaning your house is going to be the robot vacuum itself. So let's concentrate on it a little bit more. Here you have got that circular design, which actually makes it pretty aesthetically pleasing and also very handy when it comes to fitting under objects, as I pointed out before. And it also utilizes LiDAR navigation. This allows it to give it fast mapping, 3D map display, and also a multi-floor support. Handy, for example, if you're going to be utilizing the robot vacuum cleaner in a variety of different scenarios. Now you have also got something called Hyperforce cleaning power. Effectively, it's got an impressive 10,000 pascals of suction power. Effectively handy for removing any sort of hair or debris, and handy, for example, if you have also got deep carpets. It's worth pointing out over here that you have also got an increase of 10% in terms of the overall main brush speed when you're also operating in the Max Plus mode. Now, as for the main brush, you have got an all-rubber anti-tangle design, which effectively means that any sort of hair is transported towards both ends, making it just a little bit easier to clean. And yes, it's actually very easy to remove from the main unit and making it handy, for example, for maintenance. You've also got an anti-tangle side brush, which has got an asymmetrical spiral arc, a soft rubber baffle, and also a longer side brush bristles. All of this effectively tries to combine it just to make it a little bit better for the robot vacuum cleaner to operate on a day-to-day basis. Now, while that's all very well and good, the dual liftable spinning mops are fantastic. They operate at 200 RPM, therefore allowing it to remove any sort of stubborn stains. They can also lift by 10 millimeters, making it handy for you to avoid damping short pile carpet while cleaning. So a nice little touch by the manufacturer. Furthermore, that is very handy for when it comes to drying it out because it gives it a little bit of extra aeration rather than being stuck down to the ground. Furthermore, you've also got 30 levels of constant dampness water flow, which you can set via the app, which I'll be touching upon very shortly. And this effectively allows you to kind of finely tune the amount of water flow that you want, depending on the floor types that you actually have. Now, while that's all very well and good, something you're going to be interacting with on a day-to-day basis is the Roborock app. So let's actually jump into it. Through the main interface, you can see if it's charging or not and the state of charge, and you can also see if it's docked. You've also got a few quick routines or things that you can, for example, add. Now, in terms of the main interface itself, as we enter over here, you'll be able to see your map view. Now, this is actually very important, and it's going to map out your actual section that you have got. You've also got a few different floors that you can create and different rooms, which is very nice and is something that I'd highly encourage you actually spending some time on. For example, I've added a dining room table, a TV stand, and for example, I've identified the floors. You don't have to do all of this, but it's actually quite nice because it'll help out the robot vacuum cleaner actually doing the best that it can. I'll be touching upon some of the features very shortly. Now at the bottom over here, you've got the option of cleaning everything. So for example, full, going room by room, and then here you can select the rooms that you want. You can select a zone, a specific zone that is, so that's actually quite nice. And you can also set some routines should you wish to use them. Now you can also customize how it's actually going to be operating. Here, for example, if we go, I've got a customized mode where I've actually gone ahead and selected every single room and chosen what I want it to do. For example, here on the living room, which has got carpet only, I want it to vacuum only. I don't need it to mop. I've gone for a balanced suction power, a cleaning count of 1, and also got a route that I've selected. If, however, I have got, let's say, hard floor, I want a vacuum and a map. So this is exactly what I've done for the kitchen. And again, here you've got different settings which you can adjust. It might be worth, for example, going for a 2-time pass on the kitchen, where, for example, you might get a little bit more dirt. Now, if you don't want to be customizing anything, then what you can do is go on automatic mode. Here you'll have a little tone when, for example, you go on the general mode, and this will effectively do it automatically. You've also got a smart plan, which will automatically adapt. Again, I actually prefer the customized mode because it just gives me a little bit more control and a knowledge as to what the robot vacuum cleaner is actually trying to achieve. Now, at the top right-hand side, you've also got the settings cog. You can see a little history in terms of the last clean. Very handy to know that it took 11 minutes to clean, and it also did 9 meters squared. You can set schedules, which is actually quite nice. For example, over here, I've got a routine to clean all the rooms and also do it every single day. Again, you can customize this or create new schedules if you so wish, and this makes it very handy in terms of scheduling or indeed having a routine. For example, if you know you're going to be out for the day, then of course you can add it. And if you don't want the schedule, you can quickly disable it. In terms of maintenance, it's actually pretty self-explanatory. It shows you how long things have been used and the remaining, for example, charge or issues that they might actually arise. You can also replace the mops, and it's a little indication how to do it, the cleaning tray and the dust bag as well. In terms of the carpet cleaning setting, what I quite like over here is that I've actually got the carpet to vacuum only. You can also have a little bit of a carpet boost. So for example, when it goes onto carpet, it boosts up the level, which makes a natural sense because it's trying to pick up some more fibers in comparison to, for example, running on hard floor. I also have set it to do carpet first, so therefore means that the mop heads themselves are not going to be dirty when passing over carpet, even if it has that self-cleaning function. Just gives me a little bit of peace of mind that it's not going to stain my carpet with, for example, spills that I've had in the kitchen. In terms of the floor cleaning setting, you have got a sequence. For example, over here, you can set it in terms of having kitchen, corridor, living room, bathroom, or any other way that you'd want. And in terms of cleaning pattern, what I would suggest is smart, but of course you can clean along the floor direction, or of course have a mixed cleaning pattern. You've also got a pet area for some extra deep cleaning, handy for example if you've got a lot of hairs that start appearing. In terms of the dock setting, here you can have a mop wash frequency, which you can set between different modes, and you can also set it by room. Very handy because it effectively cleans the mops themselves and keeps them very nice and clean. In terms of the washing mode, again, you've got a few different settings, which I'd suggest going on balanced. Equally for the dustbin frequency, which is automatically taken out from the robot vacuum cleaner. So not to be confused with the manual one that can be found on the main unit itself. In terms of the empty mode, I've gone for smart, but of course you can go on the maximum mode if you so wish. In terms of the dry start method, I've got it on auto drying, but you can also manually start the drying process for the mop heads. In terms of the duration, I've gone on standard, but you can go on deep, for example, if it's going to be a little bit more of a humid tank. In terms of the drain onboard water tank, here you can drain it yourself manually, but it's mainly, for example, if you're going to be transporting it, or for example, if you're going on holiday. Just make sure that the tank itself is actually empty. Next up, we go on to the reactive obstacle avoidance. Handy, for example, if you've got a lot of things that will be thrown around and it might not actually detect it, well, this actually gives you that little bit of extra reassurance that the robot vacuum cleaner will actually try and reduce hitting these obstacles and not exactly hit them. You've also got the less collision mode, which effectively gives you a few different modes for you to choose from. In terms of the maps, again, here you have got map saving, which you can add for a different sort of level. I've gone for single level because I've only done my downstairs, which is what I actually want. And you can edit the map and of course remap if you so wish. For example, if you have major change in terms of your furniture. The robot voice has got a whole bunch of different languages, which is really nice to see, making it accessible for all different countries. And you can also adjust the volume. You can also connect it up to a Matter network. And in terms of more options, you can even set a do not disturb mode. Handy, for example, if you're going to be going to sleep and you don't want it to be very loud or anything, then it's going to be reducing the overall sound of the cleaner and or the actual docking station. For example, the auto drying or the auto emptying can sometimes be a little bit louder than you might expect. And of course, if you're sleeping right next to it, then you want that do not disturb mode. It doesn't bother me in the slightest, so I actually have it disabled. Now, there is also the ability of having your charging mode, which is smart and off-peak charging. Handy, for example, if you want to be saving a little bit on your electricity bill. You've got the button lights, which can be enabled or disabled. And importantly for me, you've got a child lock, which effectively means it locks the buttons from being pressed, for example, from your child, giving you more access, for example, via your smartphone. You've also got an offline map function, which is handy, for example, if the robot vacuum cleaner is somewhere. Now, pin and go is actually handy because you can actually pin somewhere and allow it to clean, which is quite nice. You've also got a remote function. So, for example, here you can do a spot clean, go back to dock, or indeed control it manually. So just imagine that, as the name suggests, as a remote control. And you've also got firmware updates, which is very handy because the product itself is always up to date. For example, the last one fixed some bugs and optimized the user experience. You've also got a user manual and some product information, and you can also share the device. Now, I do want to jump into the map function in a little bit greater detail because I do think it's very important. And yes, I've restored it to its default value so I can actually adjust it in real time with you guys so you can actually see how simple it is. At the top over here, I've got a map function and I can rename it, for example, let's say first floor. Now here, I want to actually combine the rooms. I'm going to tap these three and combine them. The reason I want to do that is because I want to create a different divide for what I actually feel is more appropriate to my actual living room. Here, then I'm going to go and divide. I'm going to tap over here. It's going to create me a line, and I'm going to create a line over here. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to divide the kitchen from the corridor, therefore having potentially a little bit more of a deeper clean in the kitchen versus the corridor. I'm going to press yes, and then now it's going to create me a separate room, which I can then rename, which I'll be touching upon very, very shortly. Next up, I want to then divide the living room. So I'm going to tap again over here. And yes, that's a pretty good divide in terms of where my living room is. So I'm just going to leave it at that and then press yes. Now this means I can set my living room, kitchen, and corridor and my bathroom all separately from each other, therefore giving me better independent control. Next time, I'm going to name them. So I'm going to tap over here and go onto kitchen. Tap over here and go into corridor. Tap over here and then go into living room. And tap over here and then go into bathroom. It really is as simple as that. Then I'm going to press save. So then I have got the ability of cleaning every single room independently from each other. And for example, just going, for example, to the kitchen and knowing exactly what it's going to do. Now, next up, you can also remove the rooms, which I'm not going to do, but it's actually very intuitive to do. And you've also got a whole different bunch of functions. So for example, you've got a no-go zone. I'm just going to create one over here. And this means that it's not actually going to go where my wires or some of my shoes are, and therefore means that it's not actually going to go in that zone without my explicit control. For example, if I actually wanted to pin and go there, then I could do so, but the no-go zone means that it's not going to go automatically there. Thresholds are handy, for example, if you're going to be adjusting, for example, a doorway or something of a step, but that's not something that's very applicable to myself, so I'm not going to be worrying about that too much. In terms of floor types, I can actually adjust them. So if I tap over here, you've got defaults. You've also got the floors in terms of vertical and horizontal, and you've also got tile. In my case, this is what is actually applicable to me. So I'm just going to tap away at them. And these are the floor types which are a bit more appropriate for my space. So now where the map is updated, I'm then going to go on carpet. This effectively means I can add a small little carpet area. And there is one, for example, just by my doormat, or it's next to the doormat. So I'm just going to put it over here. And this means that when it's going over it, it will know that there's a carpet section. It's also got an automatic function which will automatically detect the carpet. So you don't have to worry about it too much, but it can be handy, for example, for including it. Next up, I'm going to add furniture. So this can be handy for, again, if it is trying to detect a certain area. So I've got a TV stand over here. So that's exactly where I'm setting it at. And then I can, of course, add other furniture if I so wish. And it just makes it very intuitive to do. As you can see, I can just tap it and go. So for example, you don't actually have to save each time you do this. You can just tap it and effectively it's going to do it. So dining room set over here. I wish it was that big, but it's not as big as it thinks it is, or at least comes up with a map. And then elsewhere, I haven't got anything that would actually fit the things over here. So, but you've got a whole bunch of things, which of course, for example, a coffee table might be something that's going to be quite applicable. And I've actually got a double sofa, so I'm actually going to tap that as well and put it over here. And that's exactly that gap that it's figured out. There's some books alongside of it. So there we go. So now I've saved that. So now it's got a little bit better indication now of the furniture that's around there. And it also gives me a little bit better peace of mind. Now, in terms of the sequence, it's actually quite handy because I can set a different sequence in terms of how it's going to be cleaning. So for example, I can set the kitchen first, the corridor second, the living room third, and the bathroom fourth. This could be potentially an order of priority, or for example, as I touched upon before, if you want to, for example, clean the living room first because it's got carpet, then it's going to do that first and then come and do the rest. That's probably going to make a lot more sense for a lot of individuals, but nonetheless, you can just set it and therefore gives you a little bit of indication as what it's actually going to be doing. So there we have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed my detailed overview of the Roborock QV35S. Do let me know down in the comment section below what you make of it, and of course if you own it, how is your current experience with it? As a reminder, if you do want to buy it, it is currently on sale and it can be found for £300 down from £500, and there's also a 5% discount code which you can utilize. The code will be down in the description below and in the pinned comments. Stocks are limited, so make sure you jump on it. Now, if you enjoyed this detailed video, do consider dropping a like, subscribing and hitting that bell notification, all of which would be greatly appreciated. As such, I've been Totally Dubbed and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.